Kristi Noem should be impeached, and not only because of what we're seeing with ICE in our streets. Let's take last year, for example. Kristi Noem, because she thought it sounded good, put a cap on FEMA of contracts over 100,000 that she would have to personally sign off on. It was very clear she knew nothing about what she was doing. I worked closely with FEMA when I was in the White House. And so when disaster strikes, you have to be ready and you have to be nimble. And many of you remember the Texas flooding that happened in July of last year that killed over 100 people. What you may not know is what Kristi Noem's arbitrary cap did. And the reality is it costs lives. For example, search and rescue teams, when they know a storm is coming, pre-position themselves so that they are ready to rescue people who are in need. Because of Kristi Noem's $100,000 cap, they weren't able to be in place in time, and they weren't able to get there for 2 days later after the floods hit, costing lives. When a call center gets stood up so that people who are in need can make calls to FEMA, that contract is over $100,000. And what happened in reality? That contract, the people who are working in the call centers were fired on July 5th after the flooding because Kristi Noem did not approve the contracts in time. This has implications all over, whether it be pre-positioning supplies, whether it be debris removal, and lives were cost. So what is the barrier and what is the threshold for impeachment? It is high crimes and misdemeanors, abuse of power. This is a secretary who abused her power by putting that arbitrary cap on at $100,000. There's another thing called obstruction of oversight. Congress mandates FEMA to respond in situations like this. She did not do that. And more importantly than anything else, she was doing this for show and for politics and not for helping people. And on top of all of that, what we are seeing in the streets, arresting our neighbors with masked men, are all reasons that Kristi Noem needs to go now and Congress needs to act.